Well, I'm the best corner in the game. What a run. Marshawn Lynch. Get off me. DK.
What's up?
Hey, it's John Schneider with Seattle Seahawks.
That's the result you're going to get.
This offense, just in general. I mean, you had
To
a
me,
guy
just
like
watching
that.
his film, he seems more of a back.
Just the presence he's got in that pocket, the way he throws the football. Rust days, man. All the scrutiny that line was under.
This Monday night's big.
Hey, welcome back. Another episode of the Hawk Zone Rundown. You're listening to Armac and B Rice. We got a little different episode for you guys today. We're getting right into free agency here, and we want to focus on kind of specific positions and what might fit our needs here. And we're gonna take a look at the inside linebacker position today. Obviously, we got a couple of unknowns in that position for ourselves and the Hawks with Bobby and Brooks. So, what do we do? Are they both out the door? Are they both staying? But we're gonna go through them. We're gonna see what's available out there in the market and see what makes sense for you guys based on what obviously B Rice. We're in a as of right now, we don't have much cap to work with. Obviously, we know that's going to change. But what's your thoughts? I mean, I know we've talked about this a lot about moving stuff around and having enough money available. But what's your thoughts on that, real quick, before we kind of dive right in?
Well, obviously the cap went up from the recent jump. I think it's 255 million they went up to this year. So they had, as they call it, the Taylor Swift jump is what a lot of people are calling it right now. Yeah, we know Seattle's going to make some moves to create more cap space. John Schneider's good at it. The Geno restructure was part of that. Obviously, that clearly happened because they knew this bump in the cap was coming. But in regards to, the kind of things we're going to be looking at today, I know we're going to be looking at inside linebackers because that's definitely a position of need. We're going to kind of go bargain hunting is what I would like to say. Not necessarily go after the high top end guys, but some maybe of the guys that, outside the Patrick Queens and the Frankie Louvous and the Levante Davids are guys that we could possibly get on cheaper deals that could come in. They're still going to be impactful, but help reset that room and also allow us to have hedges against it in the draft.
Okay, yeah, no, for sure. And obviously, we're going to discuss Patrick Queen. And then just also, we're going to jump to a live mock draft as well. I know it's a little early because we like to get through free agency first, but it's just kind of a good little warm-up exercise, kind of get the mind working and see who maybe might look good. And then obviously you can sort of change that as the time goes on here in the next month and you figure out free agency. I mean, Seattle's not notorious for making big splashes in free agency either. Like we saw last year when we were all kind of surprised when Draymond Jones got signed to a pretty big contract, and that just was not the norm for Seattle. Now we know John Schneider's doing his thing, and it's all John now. So again, we'll see what happens there. But that's why this little quote unquote bargain hunting is kind of a cool thing, because it's like, okay, you know what? If they bring in Queen, like, yeah, that's gonna be great, but where's the bargain to get another linebacker, even if it's depth? Like, because even if we make it happen with Jordan, or who knows, maybe Bobby's on another 1-year deal, right? But there's still going to be a need for depth and maybe a starter there as well, right?
100%, man. It's going to be interesting to see how this all kind of shapes up for us and what this looks like going forward with this linebacking core. But yeah, let's take a look at some of these linebackers and just see kind of where they roughly, think the contract's going to end up. Who are some of the guys that are top still on the market, I should say, be on the market when free agency opens here shortly in a couple weeks. So yeah, I will throw this up on the screen so everyone can have a look at it for those that are on our YouTube video. So you look at the top part of this, Frankie Louvie, kind of burst on the scene, like they said, in 21. He's a great off the ball pass rushing linebacker. Like, he 43 pressures in 2022, and this is all off PFF. But you look at kind of what he's projected to make, a 3-year deal, $10 million per year. I think that's out of Seattle's park, like their ballpark right now, like especially if they want to bring back a Leonard Williams. They're going to have to make some more significant moves in that cap situation to be able to afford someone like that. So I'd say he's kind of out. You got Levante David, again, look at the age though, 34. That's pretty up there. 1 year, $5 million. Like if you wanted a stopgap linebacker, maybe, he's still quite good, but he did get his lowest grade since 2016 this past year. So I would say I'm out on Levante David.
And I'll say this too, when just before you switch down to Queen there, like, if you're gonna go that route, maybe probably just bring back Bobby, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
the guy's been here, he's the same age. You just roll Bobby again there.
No, 100%. And that's kind of, when I look at Levante David, that's what I think too. I'm like, you might as well just bring Bobby back. And I don't think they're going to do that. So that's why I don't think Levante David's a realistic option for Seattle. Then you run into Patrick Queen. So 24, 4 years, average of 18 is what they're kind of projecting. So it would be a $50 million guaranteed, 72.5 total over the tenure of 4 years. That's a lot for a linebacker. And I know on our most recent pod, our last one, that I said, I think there's a way they can do Patrick Queen and Leonard Williams, but I think in that case, that number for Patrick Queen gets dropped because he's coming to play with Mike McDonald in Seattle. So he might take a little bit less of a contract to play with someone that he knows he's going to get, scheme-wise production out of. And he's young enough that he's going to have another big contract coming. So you think that's a 4-year deal. So that means he's going to hit the market again when he's 28. Still, you look at what Bobby did when he was 28 with contracts. Like, you can still get another nice big payday. So he might take less to stay. I don't know. We'll see.
I got to ask you something about Queen real quick, because I know you and I sort of talked about, like, we both would love him here, but we also talked about, is the line, like, I know we're talking linebackers, but when you talk about contracts, and especially like you're going to tie up a lot of money with this dude, is there the same emphasis on that position, you know what I mean, where you're dumping a lot of money? I mean, I know Mike likes the style he likes to play, and if I know you got the next guy we're going to talk about, because some people might say, okay, you can get this next guy a lot cheaper, and Mike McDonald's the coach, right? So
yeah, here's my thing with it. I think Mike's going to want an alpha that's I project Seattle is going to draft a linebacker on day 2, an off the ball linebacker in day 2 somewhere, to pair with whoever they get through free agency. And you look at it. So we'll go down to the next guy, Jordan Brooks.
Right.
Seattle fans love him. 3 years, $12 million on average. That's basically Queen's contract in half there with the $36 million total guarantee, like total contract. My only thing is, he's 2 years older.
Right.
He did have a bad injury. He played really well last year, but he does have some areas of concern, whether it's in coverage. You just look kind of at his grades here. 69th out of 82, 68 out of 81, 39th out of 86. Like, he's progressively gotten worse as the years have gone on. And his snap total, even his snap total went down last year, and he still didn't get out of the 60 range for being a 60th linebacker in the NFL. You go back up to Patrick Queen, he's progressively gotten better each year. His 1 year without Mike McDonald, he was horrible. And this is why I think you could see him take less to play for a coach that understands how to use him. Between these two, I would rather pay the extra for Patrick Queen. I get 2 years of youth still with him. Not having a significant injury yet. I just think it might be better value. Going down this list, there's our boy, Bobby Wagner, Hall of Famer, future Hall of Famer. And so, like you said, Ryan, he's 33. So him and Levante David are essentially a wash. You're getting him for what they project to be a 1 year, $4 million total guaranteed deal. He can't cover as well as he used to. And like when we had Dana on last show, she stated, Bobby probably played more than he even expected to play last year.
Yeah.
And so if they were to bring Bobby back, it would have to be ultimately like a Ray Lewis situation for his last couple of years in Baltimore. You're there for rundowns, because he was still a very good rundown defender last year. You look at his grades, he's still 7th. Like, it's crazy to think, but you look at that, he played like 200 plus more snaps than Jordan
Yeah.
Brooks did last year.
Yeah.
He was 7th. The year before, he was still 1st out of 81 off the ball linebackers. You know, there's, in my opinion, there's almost more of a case for bringing Bobby back than there is Jordan.
Yeah. But play
Just
him,
because
play him the way you were intending to play him last year, right?
exactly 100%. And people may totally disagree with me on that take, but I just look at what Bobby has for, you know, his play recognition, his football IQ. He's savvy. He's still, you know, he may have lost a step athletically, but, you know, don't put him out there in pass situations.
Right, exactly.
Have him there when he gets 1st and 2nd down in the
Yeah.
run game, and let him go do what he can do still, which is attack the run game.
Right. And then so to that point too, I think you're sort of hinting like you know, let's have Bobby back on the cheap, have him on 1st and 2nd, you know, and then team him up with Patrick Queen, right? If that's sort of how I'm reading that.
That's kind of, yeah.
And especially if the numbers got to be sort of right. Because again,
right. In an ideal world, that would be fantastic. And then you could still draft somebody, right? You could still bring in a young guy that could
successor to Bobby.
Correct. And that, you know, that could be a Junior Colson, that could be a Wilson
Mason
or
Wilson,
Willis,
yeah.
like
Wilson,
we'll get into them. But like that's where I really look at the money they've allocated for years with Pete in the DB room, especially the safety room.
Yeah.
You need to put that into the linebackers and the trenches, because one thing, if you look at Sean McVay and at least some of the offenses that we play, they don't attack you vertically. They attack you laterally, side to side. Your linebackers are huge in that game. And that's where I look at it going like, hey, you know what? If you get a Bobby and he's your 1st down with Patrick Queen, and then 3rd down, he's coming off the field, or obvious passing downs, he's coming out. They roll out their nickel package with the young rookie linebacker and Patrick Queen. You're looking at a little bit more, I think, of a better situation.
Right.
And for me, like, I'm going to say I'd rather have Patrick Queen than Jordan Brooks.
Obviously.
And that's not a slight against Jordan. It's just, I think Jordan probably needs a change of scenery. And I think Patrick Queen gives us a little bit more upside to his ceiling than Jordan Brooks does.
Yeah, I agree with that completely.
Now we kind of get into the area of bargain shopping a little. So you got Al-Shaair. I got a feeling he's going to end up back in San Francisco, especially with Trey Greenlaw's injury happening. I wanted him last year.
Yeah.
Or 2 years ago, I think it was what I wanted him. Again, 20 million total, 3 years, 6.75. Again, he was a really good 3rd linebacker for the Niners when Fred Warner and Trey Greenlaw were there.
Yep.
You know, you look at his numbers, he's kind of in that middle of the pack. He's not going to wow you, but he's also not going to hurt you. So I would, you know, if he's available, and he doesn't go back to the 49ers, but from everything I've seen and read is like he was hanging around the 49ers during Super Bowl and stuff like that. Like, I honestly think he's going to end up back there. This guy, the next guy on this list, is someone I would love, and I would actually take him over Bobby, or Patrick Queen if we can't get Patrick Queen because he signs for a mega deal somewhere. Devin White. So Devin White, I think, has hit a bit of a lull in his career. And I think playing for Mike McDonald, who, as you can tell, has been able to bring back some linebackers' careers. Patrick Queen, when he was there, he 2 years under Mike McDonald. All of a sudden, he's a top elite PFF scoring linebacker. Kyle Van Noy, Jadeveon Clowney. Devin White's only 26 in age. But look at what the contract they're saying. 1 year, $7 million. I'd take that. That's basically what we played Devin Bush last year.
Yeah.
And yes, he's struggled in his grades. You can see it right here. He's had some serious issues with where he's scoring, how many snaps he's playing. I don't know. I look at him as, you know, how Pete and John used to have those reclamation projects, always these top, you know, 1st round pick guys that kind of walk. This is where I'd put some money at it. Like for $7 million, why not take the flyer on it? Why not, if you don't end up with Patrick Queen, this guy's the same age. Why not take a flyer on it? It's even cheaper than Jordan.
Yeah.
Right. He's proven that he can be a good linebacker in the NFL. So for me, Devin White's definitely one of the bargain shoppings I would go after at the linebacker position and a hedge in the draft. You know, you got Jose Jewell, not really a big fan. He's okay. I don't think he fits Mike McDonald's system too well, actually, to be honest with you. Another interesting name would be Blake Cashman. Again, bargain shopping here, 2 years, $8 million deal, so 4.25 each year. Again, he graded out pretty well last year, but again, not a high snap volume.
Right.
So
yeah.
that's going to be the thing when you look at some of these PFF grades with linebackers, especially off the ball, is look at what their snap value is. Like, are they in the thousands, like Bobby and the guys are there, or are they more kind of like, as you can tell with Cashman here, he's playing a lot of rundowns. He's not playing a lot of passing situations. Now, this is where it gets interesting. So you got Tranquil here, or Tranquil.
Yeah.
28. He played really well for the Chiefs this year. Like,
yeah.
I was surprised the Chargers let him go, to be honest.
Yeah.
But he played really well. Again, you look at the contract value here. You're getting a good player for like below market value in a lot of ways. Again, middle of the pack linebacker. This is the kind of thing where I think you're going to see like Seattle play with when they get the cap space is how do we get the most value out of our money in the linebacker room? Because they're not going to be attacking edge rushers. Everyone seems to be, even if you look at some of these mock draft simulators, like, oh, Seattle needs an edge. Well, you got Boy Mafe, you got Chenna coming back, you got Derek Hall, who you just drafted. Daryl Taylor's still coming off, but like I got a feeling you're gonna maybe sign Jadeveon Clowney or someone like that.
Yeah, I mean that might not. I think Taylor's gone, but
I do too. But so you still have 3 edge rushers.
Yeah, and like you said, Derek Hall's still a guy that, like, I always go back to, man. Give these guys some time, man. Like
100%. Boy Mafe didn't light up the year one either.
He didn't, and then he was coming on strong, like you said. Then Chenna goes down, and he looked a little different, so which is natural. So don't be so quick to
now we're kind of in the bottom of this. So you got Jordan Hicks. I wouldn't touch him. He's 31. Again, this is I'd go for Bobby instead, or it's just not interested. Willie Gay's
I like this guy.
And again, you look at the contract value.
Totally.
Like, say again, you couldn't get Patrick Queen, but say you get Devin White and Willie Gay, both on 1-year deals for what works out to be about $10 million for 2 starting caliber linebackers.
Yeah, no, I like this guy. Like you said, we were talking off air or whatever. It's going to be tough to pry away some Chiefs, especially like if
they want to run it back for a 3.
They want to run back for 3, and then plus Seattle's teams aren't going to throw crazy money, so it's like we'll match that if we want to keep this defense, because that defense is young and really came on, right? So
this is the one thing I will say for free agency for Seattle, and I think this is something we haven't had since we had the Legion of Boom. Mike McDonald is going to be a great selling piece for us because of what he did with Patrick Queen and what he did with the Jadeveon Clowney and Kyle Van Noy, where you may get guys like a Devin White who want to resurrect their career and take a cheaper deal to go play there, so that they then, and again, they could do the same thing. Both of them are 26. They take a 1-year deal, have outstanding years, and come back next year and get their big payday or their bigger payday.
Yeah.
And I think that's something that, that's like you look at like Michael Bennett and Cliff Averill when we got them as edge rushers in the 2013 Super Bowl run year. They came on pretty cheap deals because, I want to go play with Coach Carroll in that defense. Like, I want to go be a part of that. That's what Mike McDonald, and I bet you part of what John Schneider thought of was, hey, if I go get this guy, there's a good chance this is going to have a ripple effect when it comes to free agency and getting some of these guys. Yeah. So to finish this off with a couple guys here, we got Tyrell Dodson, played for Buffalo. He filled in basically for Matt Milano. He was okay. He wasn't great. He had a great grade this year, but look how many snaps he played.
Right.
He played under 700 snaps because he was filling in after week 8.
Right.
He's a bit undersized. He's 6 foot 237. He's quick, but he gets overpowered really easily. And if you look at our division, a couple of those teams in it love to run the ball. And especially with the Rams this year switching from Sean McVay's traditional zone scheme, they've gone to a gap scheme and started to run gap a lot more. That's going to mean your linebackers need to step up a lot more into those holes and take on blockers. Oren Burks from the 49ers, basically special teamer. This is where we're at now.
Yeah.
Looking at guys that are special teamers, good old
Cody
Barton.
We don't need him back.
You look at his grade wise, but that's what I mean. you look at his grade and then you go back and look at Jordan Brooks, they're almost identical. So as many people a few years ago that wanted to throw Cody Barton under the bus, and I'm not saying Cody Barton's a great linebacker, so don't
Right.
mistake that. Him and Jordan Brooks are not far off. So all these people that want Jordan Brooks back because, oh, he's young, he's just like, go watch the tape of Jordan Brooks. Yes, he has moments where he looks like a absolute stud in the first round pick he's worth, but it's never consistent and he disappears.
Well, and that's why also I think like you just brought up first rounder, I think some people are hanging on to that too. Like just because you got a guy in the first round doesn't mean, you have to sign to his next deal. And that's the thing. So, and Cody, yeah, numbers wise or whatever, you could say they're similar, but you watch Cody on the field. There was times he was a lost puppy out there, right? I mean, there was some
100%.
times where he played okay, but same with Jordan. And so for me, if I look at it, just the guys we went through, and I agree, Patrick Queen, if you can get him on a obviously he's going to be expensive, but if you get him on, a quote unquote hometown discount, even though he's leaving, but he's coming back to Mike, and you think you could sign Leonard, then yeah, that would be amazing. But I mean, I don't know, man. Like I like Jordan, but it's got, like when we were talking to Dana, it's got to make sense financially. Like I'm not.
And does Jordan fit? Does he fit
That's the thing too. And like you said, does he suit that alpha role? Like, and with Bobby not there, we saw what happened. So, there's ways to look at it. I do like Willie Gay from Kansas City. Like that's a bargain, the bargain guy who plays hard. But yeah, I think I don't want to say I could take or leave Jordan, but I don't know, man. I would be a lot more pumped if we got Queen on a deal and say, okay,
100%.
you're the guy
And I
moving
think
forward.
that's how a lot of people do feel about it. Like, and the end of the day, like when people see when we're doing these positional breakdowns, this is just your and my opinion. If we were running the Seattle Seahawks, and people are going to have completely different opinions of us, and what we want to do. But the way I look at it is, if I'm building this defense, I'm trying to get value and money, so I'm not in a situation where we're strung up, because some of these cuts that are going to apply to us are going to have some dead cap hits that we're, people just assume, oh, you cut somebody, well, their contract's just non-void. And that's not the case. Like if you cut Jamal Adams, yeah, you get 17, but you're still eating 6 of it.
Yeah.
So that's where people have to understand when you are dealing with these, certain, free agency kind of situations, you might have to bargain shop. And that's why like Devin White and Willie Gay are two guys I look at and I go, yeah, I'd be okay with those two.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree 100%. So, yeah, because right now as it stands, like we have no money to spend, right? So it's gonna just,
it's gonna be interesting.
Come down to how they just kind of work all this and get creative, and maybe there's some surprise cuts, right? Like, and even on the offensive side of the ball with Tyler, like, can they restructure into a retirement side of thing? Like, because he's a big dead cap guy too, right?
Here, let me just
like if you straight up cut him.
If you straight up cut him, let me just have a look here and I'll give you that answer. I'm just gonna pull up over the cap here so our listeners and viewers can see. So with Tyler Lockett, so going into the next year, if you cut Tyler pre-June 1st, your dead cap is 19, you get $7 million in cap relief.
Okay.
If you designate him a post June 1st, your dead's $9 million and you get a $17 million relief. You are not cutting Tyler Lockett pre-June 1st. You're post June 1st cutting. Well, the two June post June 1st cuts that will happen, because you get 2 of them a year. If it's going to be 2 players, it's going to be Jamal and it's going to be Tyler, because of your cap settings.
It's just too much. It's just too big.
Both of them. If you cut both of them, your dead for both combined is 18, because they're both worth 9, but you're getting 17 back for both of them.
That's just a no-brainer right there, as far as the post June is concerned. So, but that, that's going to free up some money, right? So 100%. It's just one of those things. And we know Jamal's at the door. Tyler's sort of a unknown right now, right? So we'll we'll wait and see and see how that plays out. But yeah, man, that's some interesting stuff. Just kind of touching on the linebackers and kind of seeing, at least, gives people a sense of who's out there right now, like what you're dealing with. Everybody can say, hey, let's bring in Queen, and man, we're all for that too. But you also got to say, this guy is going to command the most money right now at that spot. And you know after we move stuff around, this year's going to be a tough year for us, I just think, with money wise. But like, because we had so much money in that safety room, right? And that's the thing, we want to sort of allocate that money up front a little more, right? So if you can somehow get them, and then, like I said, I think our biggest thing is setting things up for 2025. You bring in Queen, you post June 1st Jamal, and then you just start seeing what happens, and just kind of 2025 comes around, and you sort of, the handcuffs start coming off a little bit. But
no, 100%, dude. And that's going to be what's going to be interesting, is how John Schneider manipulates with Matt Thomas this cap, the structuring of some of these contracts. I wouldn't be surprised if they don't use what they used a few years ago with the void years. They used it on Chris Carson. They used it on a couple of guys where it's like, hey, it's a 3-year deal, but the last 2 years are void deals.
Right.
And kind of go that way. So it'll be interesting.
Okay, hey man, that was good good insight with the linebackers, man, just to give everyone an idea what's out there, and what to expect as far as names are concerned with free agency starting up here. Take a quick break. On the other side, we're gonna fire up a mock draft. Okay, guys, welcome back to the show. And it's time to do a pre-mock draft, kind of, because after free agency settles down and everything's kind of settled, and players are in sign with different teams or sign back with their own teams, you can get a little more kind of definite on sort of where you might see more need for your team. But right now, we're gonna give you guys a little preview of kind of a first mock that we're doing on this show. So Bryce, why don't you start pulling up some stuff on the screen there, and we'll kind of kick this off here.
All right. So for our viewers out there and our listeners, we're using PFF's mock draft simulator. We got the settings pretty much. You can take a look there. Care for positional value. We've set it kind of at the medium. Draft needs a little bit higher, and randomness kind of in the middle, because we don't know what the draft will do. We're going to do 7 rounds. So we've picked the Seahawks. So we'll hop right into this draft and see kind of how it goes. And just so everyone's aware, we will take trades if they're there. Me and Ryan will talk it out and figure out what we want to do. So here we go.
Let's do it.
All right. So the Bears are on the clock. So let's see what happens here. All right. So there we go.
It's happening quick here, man. Look at this.
Going fast. We'll go back
up. Here come the Hawks.
So here we go. So with that being said, we're on the clock. So let's see who all went. So Drake May went first, then Caleb Williams. Wow. Marvin Harrison 3, Brock Bowers. Wow.
That's
Jaden
interesting.
Daniels fell all the way down to the Raiders at 13. So
wow.
If I'm Seattle here, and I don't know, we got 2 trades available. So let's have a look at these, Ryan, see what the trades say. So Pittsburgh is offering us pick 20. So we dropped 4 spots. And let's see what we can get out of these guys. So we take pick 20. They want our pick 16. Let's see. 52. Let's go. We'll give them our 151. Let's see, that's not going to happen. Do we stay or do we go? What do you think?
I mean, we're looking at
swapping
first rounders
spots here.
Okay.
And they want our pick 16.
And we're getting their pick 52.
Well, I'm trying to get their pick 52, but I don't know if they're going to go for that.
That's the only way I'm doing it. That's the only way I'm doing it, man.
We're flipping it. So you look at this, we move up in the later round. So we bump ourselves up back into kind of the top of the 3rd round. But we drop 4 spots. What do you think? I think we take this.
Yeah, I'd say go for it.
All right. They accept the trade. So we now have pick 20, pick 52. They have pick 16 and pick 78. So Steelers are on the clock. Let's see. All right, so we're back on the clock here now. So who'd they take? Okay, so they took the corner out of Iowa. Jackson. So, like, man, we got a lot of guys still on this board here. So let's take a look in position filter here. So if I'm Seattle, let's look at the interior D line. So Newton's still on the board. So is Chris Jenkins. So Sweat. Let's see. We got another trade. So we got the Vegas teams interested in pick 20. Vegas, New Orleans, or Chicago. I don't know, man. I think we got to stay and pick here at 20. Because none of these trades are going to keep us in the first round.
I mean, who do you like right now? Who do you like? Who do you really like that you want to pay here at 20?
I kind of like Jazeer Newton, just in case, and we're saying this is pre-free agency, right? So we don't know if we've got Leonard Williams coming back. So I kind of think we got to take this guy out of Illinois.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I like him. So, I mean, you know what? I mean, it's the whole thing. It's like we don't know what John's going to do. This is us. A lot of times maybe John, if there's a second round or even another third, for your first, you get a couple of picks.
Right.
I know it's tough, right? You kind of want to pick in the first round.
We're rating so it's either him or I go with Jared Verse. And I just, like I said, we've got some edge rushers. We still got to see
we do have some edge, man. I would rather get that interior. Yeah, I mean, why don't you take him at 20? Let's go.
Interior deer line here. Let's just make sure it's between him and Chris Jenkins. I think we go here. This guy's an impact player.
Yeah, let's get him.
Look at our history with Illinois. Here's some comparables. Like the dude's in the upper echelon. He's basically been one of the top in the last 2 years. 4 to 8 sacks. He's in the hurry. He's going to be our disruptor in the middle.
Let's take him. Let's pick him, man.
All right, so there we go. So now we'll see with the rest. We got a couple picks before.
Remember, we got no second round.
I'm kind of surprised with some of these guys that are going off. The randomness of there goes JJ McCarthy to the Michael Penix went to the
Bo Nix just
Vikings.
went.
Yeah, Bo Nix just went. So what quarterbacks are remaining? Let's have a look here and just have a peek at the quarterback room. So there's still some decent guys in here. I'm not too upset. No trade value here.
Well, you still got Spencer Rattler still.
Jordan Travis isn't a bad guy.
Jordan Travis on the board, but I know we talked about Spencer might be
kind of a guy I'm looking at. Yeah,
it's a guy. Would you take him this early? Do you take him with 52, or do you?
I'm not taking him with 52.
That's what I'm saying. So either you trade or you can
a little bit.
Yeah, or you can go get somebody on that O line, right?
Yeah, I'm wondering where we're sitting right now with how many receivers there and I wonder if we can drop down to like Houston here and see if we can't recoup another third round pick.
Yeah, I mean, I think that, and that's something John would definitely do. He's all about accumulating. So I'd say let's try to move down on this and try to get another
52, and let's see if we can get that. And maybe give up our fourth next year. Ooh, yeah, maybe we might be able to. Let's see if this works. Nope. Okay, so they didn't like that. So trying to get 85 out of them is going to be a little tough. You know what? I think we might have to give a third next year. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think we need to get a couple of big picks here. I think
not so bad because we're going to drop a couple spots.
Yeah, we are.
Up another third round pick in this year's draft.
Yeah.
Okay, so perfect. They went for it. We give up our third next year. I think the value's there. So we'll resume the draft. So we dropped a couple spots, and there's our a couple runs on receivers. Perfect. Okay, so let's take a look at the guard room. Let's see what our interior O-line. Christian Haynes is a guy that I like, and I think could be. The other guy that I really like is Zach Zinter. And this is why I wanted that extra third round pick. I think we can get him. He may be a full redshirt year because of coming off his broken leg. But I look at him and I go, he's really going to help solidify that right side of our line with Abe Lucas. So, we can show Christopher Haynes and stuff. Like, look at the guy, man. Like, he's got great run block rates, pass block, zone, gap. Like, the dude doesn't give up 3 sacks in 3 seasons. Like, I really like that.
All right, let's go for it.
All right, so we're going to take Christian Haynes here in the second round. So we've addressed 2 areas on the trenches now. in this draft so far.
All right, is this where you take a QB here, man?
Well, let's see. Let's see if our QBs are still hanging around. Okay, so there's been a bit of a run on the quarterback. So Spencer Rattler literally went
Spencer
2 picks
just
before.
went.
Damn, that was who I was kind of banking on hanging around too.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's see what else we got. Joe Milton and Jordan Travis. Again, I still like Jordan Travis. He's coming off an injury, but look at his 3 years, man.
Yeah.
Like he's got some, good draftable grade. First look, 6'1", 212. Like I'm okay. Again, if we're keeping Geno, which as of right now we are, I'd be okay with scooping him up at a point. So let's look at this. So guard, center, edge. They still say edge is a need for us. I still don't understand that. Junior Carlson, or Colson, I should say, not Carlson, Colson. I like him here.
Right.
You look at his average draft position. You look where he's ranked. He knows Mike McDonald. This is, I think, a very Mike McDonald. Hey, he might pound the table for this guy. We just talked about inside backers and drafting a guy. I think we draft Junior Carlson here. Give Mike McDonald somebody he's used to working with and that had pretty successful, like just to bring it up.
Yep.
Guy's got pretty good grades. Tackling machine, games played, I personally think this is a guy that we could help build this defense around a little bit.
All right, so let's get him at 81.
Okay, so there we go. Okay, Miami forfeited their pick. So we're on the clock again. So what do you think we should be looking at here? Because we don't pick again till 119, which is way down in this area down here. Let's have a look. Let's see. What's our edge rusher tackle situation? Not too high on that. Okay. Do we take a safety?
I'm gonna have to edit this, dude.
No worries.
1 second, give me a sec. Okay, we're back. Do we take a safety here? Man, I don't know. That's a tough one, right? I mean,
Malik Mustafa. So I watched Bob Staten's interview with him. I really like this guy. But I think we can still wait because he's still in around our picks where they're averaging taking him. So I think we can hold off on safety. Still have Julian Love, Kobe Bryant's there, Jarek Reed, Sutherland's another one. We still got some room there.
You got some young guys.
What do our edges look like? Nobody really exciting me here. No one I'm thinking, hey, this is someone. Tight ends. Now this is interesting. I think Cade Stover could be a really good pick here. And my reason for that is we don't know what the tight end room is going to look like.
Yeah.
Both Parkinson and Fant are free agents.
And Disley's probably gone.
This guy, in line, he's taking, slot snaps. He's kind of an all over the place kind of guy. He averages about 500 yards a year, a couple touchdowns here. I personally like him. I think he's got a 60% contested rate catch. His run blocking grade isn't great, but I think he helps fill that void if you don't bring back Noah Fant or Colby Parkinson.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, this is free agency, so as of right now, you don't know. So yeah, I mean, maybe you take him here. Maybe you take him here.
All right,
and
let's go with
another young tight end.
All right. Oh, Blake Corum just went off the board. Great running back from Michigan.
Now, what are we left with QBs here coming up?
This is where it's going to get interesting because Milton and Jordan Travis are two guys that I think
so
are
we
still
got 119. Let's take a look at the QBs real quick.
So they're both still sitting here.
So maybe you grab him here. I mean, or maybe he just doesn't even go, right?
Like well, that's the thing. He's coming off that big injury. Milton's kind of a project guy, right? Like he has the upside of Anthony Richardson. Like he physically is built the same way. Like when you first look at him, 6'5", 235. He's only 23. You can see his trends. He's kind of all over the place a little bit. analysis. They haven't really brought that up yet, but I don't know. Like you look at him, his completion percentage. Like if I'm picking between him and a Jordan Travis,
Yeah.
like Jordan Travis again, we'll bring it up here. His first look, his age, he's 23 as well. I think you might get a better quarterback
Out of Travis.
away in Jordan Travis, but I don't think he has the physical upside of a Joe Milton.
Yeah, exactly. So,
and that's where I'm kind of like, like, do we?
because
Like,
that's
we're
all.
119.
That's all you kind of. Those are those two guys right now you're looking at.
Well, and you look, and here come the QBs right here. You know, another one of
Yeah.
them. Clearly, the Broncos haven't, and you know, Chicago did take a quarterback, but I don't know, man. Like, what's our trade here that we're getting proposed? So Chicago wants to come up, so we could drop a couple spots and potentially, yeah, like I don't know, man. What do you think? What do you want to do here?
I mean, I'm going to take quarterback right here.
You want a quarterback? Okay,
Let's
who
go
do you want?
quarterback.
Do you want Travis or Milton?
Man, I do.
I'd go Jordan Travis.
I go Jordan Travis too because he just yeah. I would go him.
Okay,
I think.
So we're taking Jordan Travis here. Okay, so we got 3 more picks left in this draft.
Yeah.
And obviously, you know, just for our viewers and listeners, like this is our first mock draft. You know, we're gonna get better at these as they go. We'll use different platforms and stuff. So here we go.
And
So
hey, and just to that note, toss it in the comments. Toss in the comments whether you absolutely hate our mock or where you thinking that we should have went with some of our early picks for sure, right? Because like I said, this is just the pre-mock to free agency here, really. So.
Oh, look at that! Look who's still sitting on the board. Fills a void for us that we could potentially have if Quandre and log on.
Yeah,
I
you
think
like
we take him. I think he could be a diamond in the rough type guy.
Yeah.
So we're gonna take Malik Mustafa here.
Taking him at 151.
At 151, yep.
So we got 2 left.
And I'm gonna bounce back, and I think I'm gonna look at guard here. Coming back, see if there's some value in the guard room. I know Zach Zinter just went off the board. You know, we took Malik. I think that was the right choice. There you go. Joe Milton to the Patriots at 182.
There it is.
All right. So here we go. So let's take a wow. Actually, you know what? That's gonna make things a little bit more challenging okay. So, you know, here's Miami's guard.
Yeah.
Jovan Cohen. He's not bad. But you know what? Someone I'm hearing a lot of buzz on lately, and you know, with the Abe Lucas situation.
Yeah, we got to think about that.
Roger Rosengarten's been getting a lot of praise coming out of Senior Bowl from Jim Nagy.
Okay.
As a potential guy that can play right tackle right away in the NFL and potentially play left. I think we take him here.
Okay, let's grab him.
Knows Ryan Grubb's system.
Yeah, exactly.
Played in it. I think that's a good pick for us right here.
Right. Okay, and then we got 1 left to go.
233, almost Mr. Irrelevant.
San Fran's got back-to-back.
Oh, good old San Fran with their back-to-back. So this one's kind of going to be a luxury pick for us, right? Like, what are we thinking we really need to focus on? And I know we're probably going to get a bad grade because we didn't take an edge in this draft. I think Olu's going to be the center, and they may bring back Evan Brown.
Yeah, I think you roll like that. I think you definitely roll like that. Olu, you got to. Yeah, we were high on him, right? So I think you're gonna look at him and come right back with those guys.
I'm just looking through here at some of the things that are available. We got a trade across potentially the Packers want to move up. I know, yeah. No, I think we stick. I think we stay and we take a pick. We pick here. Let's see.
You pick here, man.
We got Hardy. You know, what's his first look? He's a smaller corner. I don't think he's someone that would fit necessarily. But that's the other thing that's going to be interesting now with corners is Pete's not here. So what does the corner room look like going size-wise going forward? Are they still with their long, lanky guys?
Well, I mean, you could say that, but I mean, look at. I mean, Spoon ain't too long and lanky, and neither is Trey, right? So,
that's true.
You know, I mean, I know you still got Wool in there, nice and long and lanky, but I mean, when you look at that room, it's tough. It's and the one guy that's maybe not as tough is the long guy right now in Reek, right? So you kind of look at that, but I mean, our cornerback room is just a luxury right now, I think, and I like, I know we're gonna fish off this draft, but Reek I think Mike McDonald's just gonna be nothing but a good thing for him.
You know what? I think we take a center here just
Yeah,
ahead to
get
get
some
Brown.
depth. Yeah,
I think Andrew Ram might be a good pick here. He's kind of roughly around where we are. He kind of fits some of the stuff we like to do. And again, we don't know what Ryan Grubb's system is going to look like.
yeah, exactly.
So we're going to take this guy right here, fill out the rest of our draft, and see what grade we end up with, everyone. So we kind of addressed a couple of our needs. We attacked, the trenches early in the linebacker room just to hedge against anything. And obviously, once free agency starts, we start signing guys. We'll see what it comes out with, but here we get our grade of what we did. So just going through it, a B overall grade, not bad for our first mock there. Our only bad pick really is Cade Stover at where we took him there. They figure he's a D pick. Jordan Travis, where we got him, not bad there at C plus. They really like the Junior Carlson pick and our trades. So, just to show everyone, here's the first round. May went 1 instead of Caleb Williams.
Yeah.
We dropped a couple
Marvin
spots.
Harrison to the Pats.
Yeah, of all places.
Nobody can throw to him.
Exactly, and you get and
we did
the Cardinals.
Yeah, and then the Jaden Daniels, man, dropping down to the Raiders.
That's surprising.
Crazy.
Yeah.
That is crazy. 2 wide receivers in the top 6.
Well,
top 5.
What's also interesting here, in my opinion, is you look at Peyton Wilson, an injury-prone linebacker, got all the way up into the 30s.
Man, and I like him, man. Like that would be.
I do too. I think
that would be a dude, but you can't. It's all gonna depend what they do with the 16th pick. If John trades down and accumulates a couple of thirds or depending if he can figure out a way to get that second round pick back. Depends how high. I mean, the only thing with Peyton Wilson is he's had a lot of injury history, right? So, like you said, you're a little surprised he went in the first round.
Well, you look at it too. We were able to get our second round pick back. We got a good guard in there that is a plug and play guard. I think for us. You look at, and the way I always look at it, you look at your first 4 rounds and see how many guys you got. They're plug and play guys.
Plug and play.
That can at least impact right away. And the way I look at it, Newton can step in and play right away. Haynes can step in right away. Colson, I think, could step in. And Stover could step in at tight end. I know they gave us a D grade on it. You got a potential QB of the future in Jordan Travis. He's coming off his injury. Malik Mustafa, I think, is going to be, getting Roger Rosengarten there is a B. We got him in the 6th round, and right now people are talking about him going in the first round.
Yeah, so you might not realistically get him down that far, but
no,
when he's there, you take him. You take him here in this draft, right? So, but
that was our first mock, guys.
Hey, man, it's good, and I like sort of. We kind of went what we needed. You got a QB in there, sort of a guy that has a lot of upside, right? And like you said, we're not going to be getting one of the top 4 or at least top 3 guys. I mean, maybe we almost could have got Jaden Daniels the way this mock went, but that just doesn't seem realistic at all. So you're just not getting the top 3, and then you leave yourself with okay, now like we talked about Michael Penix, you talk about Spencer Rattler, maybe a day 2, 3rd round guy. So that's kind of what you're left with. So, if you stick with 16, then it just comes down to, if you're looking at the quarterback, what's your biggest need if you want to stay at 16? If somebody really sticks out at you, if you're so high on Penix, I think he's a day 2 guy. He's not a guy you're taking at 16. So
he went, I think it picked 46 to the Vikings.
Yeah, that's sort of more realistic, right? So, but again, he might not even be on the radar, right? I mean, and obviously he's got ties to Grubb, but like you said, it could be somebody more like a situation like this, because you don't need to reach for a quarterback right now, not for 2024. So they're in that luxury. You got Gino. And I don't even know what's going on with the Drew Lock talk and all this kind of stuff. It seems like they still are not, I wouldn't say high on him, but hey, this guy can be serviceable, and we can sign him on a cheap, right? So
I'll be honest. I know last pod I said, hey, Michael Penix, I got a feeling he's going to end up in Seattle. I still do. I still think there is a feeling that Michael Penix will end up in Seattle if he's there. And it's the
Sure.
right time for Seattle to pick him.
Yeah.
If not, I honestly think Spencer Rattler is going to be someone in this next month, combine, whatever, that is going to jump up boards, because going back and watching his film, diving into it like I have, that dude can throw the ball, and the amount of adversity he's gone through and overcome and correct himself on a personal level, I really would be okay seeing that guy as a 3rd-round pick for us, or day 2 pick, and come in and compete, because I think he beat out a Drew Lock, and he would actually push a Gino for the play time. I don't see how that's a lose-lose situation with Spencer. Like, he can make all the same throws of a Penix. He's got that big of an arm to do those kind of things. I really think people need to take a look into Spencer Rattler and take a look at what he's capable of doing. But yeah, no, that was, I think, a first good mock for us.
That was a great mock.
We're going to see what it's going to shape up, everyone, after free agency starts here, and obviously all the news comes out of the combine and whatnot. So it'll be good. But yeah, we 100%, please, post in the comments, guys, you liked it we took, things that you didn't like about our mock. The more feedback we get from you guys as the listeners, the better off we can with going with mocks in the future, and kind of curve them to maybe what you guys would like to see. And we love interacting with you guys in the comments, so please, keep the questions and the different things coming on the comment page. We love it.
Yeah, keep them coming. And we got a little more analytical stuff coming up for you this week too. We got Seahawks Nerd, who we had on a few months back. He's coming back on the show, and we got a few really good guests coming up in this next month, and then some return guys too. So like I said, guys, before, if you like what you're hearing and you like what you're seeing, hit the subscribe and like buttons, and hit the notification buttons so you don't miss anything coming up. So yeah, man, hey, we're going to wrap this up, get out of here. Great episode today, man. So we'll see you guys on the next one.
See ya.
Go Hawks.
Go Hawks.